going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I got a couple things I want to talk to you about in this one, and then obviously, Adam Gase had a press conference, or will have his press conference. I'm actually making this video during practice right now, so practice is still going on. But he will have that, and I will have that for you, obviously. But first, a couple things I want to get into. So first of all, team awards were given out. So just want to give some shout outs, some congratulations to those guys. Xavier Howard received the Dan Marino Team MVP Award. Frank Gore received the Don Shula Leadership Award. Ryan Tannehill got the Ed Block Courage Award. And Kenny Stills received the Nat Moore Community Service Award. Definitely, all very well deserved for all obvious reasons. Kenny Stills does so much in the community. Ryan Tannehill, whatever anybody thinks about him, and I know there's still tons of haters and blah blah blah, but that dude bleeds aqua and orange, and he has done so much for this organization, and he fights, man. And not only that, but he stays in there. How many times has he taken big licks, standing in the pocket, delivering strikes, man? So, whatever you haters want to say, you need to calm down with that shit. Anyway, Frank Gore getting the Don Shula Leadership Award. I mean, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And of course, Xavier Howard got the MVP. He definitely has been one of the biggest bright spots in this chaotic season. The next thing that I want to talk about, though, is, so it would seem that by several different reports, there are going to be some firings, or at least a firing. So for all of you Dolphins fans out there that, are just clamoring for people to get fired and lose their jobs, you get what you want. And so I hope you're happy. As of right now, it looks like Mike Tannenbaum is going to be fired by Stephen Ross. By all reports to this point, it looks like Adam Gase is going to be retained, and Chris Grier is also going to be retained. So they will stay. Mike Tannenbaum apparently is going to be fired. So it is what it is. I personally think that's silly. I think that, first and foremost, a couple things. There's a couple points to it. Obviously, you guys know I believe that an entire unit, right, an entire organizational unit, front office and coaching staff, or at least head coach, right, need to have 5 years together, 5-year windows together. We've seen this how many times? Pretty much every time we've made changes within the organization since Don Shula left, it's been the same thing. We'll fire one or two guys, but we'll keep one or two guys, and then blah, blah, blah. And how's that worked out for us? It hasn't. Obviously, it hasn't. We've been mediocre, basically since then. And so, look, man, you guys are getting what you want. For all those Dolphins fans that, want this kind of thing, you're getting what you want. But, hear me now, quote me later. It could potentially, cause regression because, it just hasn't worked for us, and it doesn't prove to work when you do this kind of thing in the National Football League. If it does work, it's only going to really be because, I think Chris Grier is great at what he does, but it's going to be because of the head coach and because we have the right head coach for this team. So I hope I am wrong in that regard, and I hope it does work out. But historically speaking, it just doesn't work. You got to give them all time. For all intents and purposes, from what I've gathered, they work well together. They have a good chemistry and they do things well together and so on and so forth. So, it's just, I don't know. To me, this is silly. And it's funny because Adam Beasley, he put out a tweet that said, for what it's worth, Mike Tannenbaum is at practice today talking to Gase and Joe Vitt and whatever. And somebody commented on that and was like, yeah, because he realized he was failing and so he's looking for extra credit. Dude, get out of here, man. Look, sure, Mike Tannenbaum has had some, mixed a mixed bag with, picks, right? He's famous for picking Mark Sanchez when he was with the Jets, right? Does he hit every single one of them? No. But I would say he's, and I know people are going to hate this, but he's at least 50-50. I think he's better than that, especially the past 3 years, because, I mean, dude, look at all the contributors and major staples that we are going to have on this team from the past 3 years. People don't take into account that we actually, despite what it might seem like, we had one of the younger units in the league because, you know, over the past 3 years, instead of going out and signing all these crazy high-priced free agents, we've actually been drafting pretty well, and we've been trying to develop players and retain our own guys, which is what you need to do. You know, so, I mean, look, dude, you know, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's absolutely nuts. And like I said, I mean, I hope I am wrong, but again, you know, hear me now, quote me later. If it does work out, it's because, you know, we do have the right head coach in place. You know, but I don't know, man. I can't understand why people think that, you know, this is the way to go, man. You just want to blow everything up all the time. It's nuts. Anyway, so I mean that's what it is, man. You know, that's how it's gonna go. Obviously, if there's more, you know, as more information and stuff comes out, I'll let you guys know. You know, I'll update you on it and whatnot. But as of right now, that's what it's looking like. So, you know, we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's really all I got for you guys. Like I said, as more of this comes out, we'll talk about it more and more and more. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, send you off to this interview. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoy my show. If you do, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Of course, I love interacting with y'all. It's a lot of fun. You guys give me positive, or, well, you guys give me feedback, constructive feedback. I've had negative feedback, too, from other people. But I don't care. You know, it's all good. I like the feedback. I like y'all, you know, chiming in and stuff like that, so make sure you do. And also, of course, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. You can hit me up there, ask me your questions there. You know, check out my tweets, retweets. I, you know, put out, you know, lots of stuff on there as well, and you know, my videos obviously get posted there as well. So with that, guys, I'm out. See y'all soon. Fins up.
I mean, I really don't care what people outside this building think. You know, honestly, as long as my teammates believe me and the guys upstairs know that I'm going to do everything I can to get my body right and be out on the field and give everything I have. You know, I've played through injuries throughout my whole career. Obviously, some that I couldn't the past couple of years, but I look at those things as things are out of my control. Can't do anything about it. Injuries happen in football, unfortunately, and you have to be able to, you know, fight through some. And if you can't fight through it, then you do everything you can to get back on the field as quickly as possible.
Ryan, you're a team guy, and you always take accountability, but Adam said something this week which stood out. He said about you, nobody helps him. And do you ever in a quiet moment think, gee, I wish my receivers were healthier, I wish I was, you know, I got more effective blocking, be it from backs or tight ends or your offensive line? I mean, does that thought naturally, it seem like human nature to go through your mind, why don't I get more help?
No, you can't look at the game that way. You know, I think you have to control what you can control and do everything within your power with what's given to you in every situation in life, and especially in football. So if you always play the what-if game or woulda, coulda, shoulda, then I feel like you're not going to be growing as a person or as a player. So I always try to just focus on myself and what can I do better. You know, if there was a opportunity to maybe move in the pocket or throw a little bit, you know, further to the right or whatever it may be. Obviously, you want to try to be really critical on yourself. That way, you know you can control that.
Ryan, there's been a lot of conversation stirred up about the fact that Adam sits on the sidelines during when the defense is on the field and sort of works with you guys in terms of adjusting what you're going to do next series or preparing next series. Can you talk about what that process is like?
Yeah, so usually, you know, I come over the sideline and sit with Dal. We go through the pictures. Adam gets the pictures handed to him closer to the sideline. You know, usually he's closer to the field, so he can kind of keep an eye on what's going on within the game and also look at the pictures. You know, then we'll convene if we have anything that we need to adjust going forward. So usually he's not over there on the bench with us. A couple times maybe throughout the game he'll pop over, but usually he's up closer to the sideline, gets the pictures on paper, and we look at the iPad, and then just try to get on the same page moving forward.
How do you compartmentalize the uncertainty about what's ahead after this week, whether Adam will be back, whether you'll be back?
You can't think about it. Just like I said, like you focus on what you can control.
You really don't.
You can't. What's the good in wondering and pondering and wasting time thinking about it? It's out of my control right now. I'm focused on winning this one game in Buffalo and doing everything I can to prepare myself, prepare the guys around me to go out and play well and win this game. Once it's done, then the powers that be will make those decisions and we'll go from there. But right now, we're just focused on doing everything we can to get ready for Buffalo.
Turning off that noise is part of the job description?
Yeah, it's easy. Honestly, it's easy for me because I don't watch much TV or I don't do much of the social media thing or anything like that. So it's 500.
That would break us, right?
All right, $50. Yeah, you just focus. I forgot what the question is now, but
turn off the noise.
Yeah. You focus on what's in front of you. Yeah. Good timing, right? You focus on what's in front of you, what you can control, and just block out the outside noise. At this point in my career, I've got a lot of practice at it, so it's not too difficult.
So obviously, if it were up to you, you'd want to be back next year. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, of course. I love this organization, love the guys on this team. I love competing with the guys on this team. I've been here my whole career and love it in South Florida. Love what South Florida brings to the table. So, I'd love to be here.
Ryan, I want to ask you about Devontae. Since you've been back, he's been utilized sparingly and in the rotation and out of the rotation. What's going on there in terms of the chemistry relationship and his productivity?
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit disappointing that we haven't been able to utilize him more and get more out of him. I think he's a very talented guy. He's had some big games. I think Houston, I don't remember how many yards he had, but had a big game. And you kind of see the talent he has. He's kind of made plays sporadically throughout the season. And honestly, he's been doing really well in practice. I feel like our chemistry is really good right now. He's running extremely well in practice, fast, moving in and out of his cuts. I feel like he's finally getting healthy, fully healthy again, where he can comfortably run. His shoulder, I think, kind of bothered him a lot of the season, and he was a tough guy. He played through it, but obviously wasn't 100%. So I think he's finally starting to get over all of that, and we're seeing it in the practice field as far as him playing faster and making more plays, and hopefully we'll see that on Sunday.
Gase said the same thing in terms of the practice field. Why isn't it translating to the games?
Well, it's tough when you're not getting too many reps. I think he's splitting so much time right now. At least the past week, maybe 2 weeks, he's kind of been splitting more time, and that's kind of been at the same time as he's getting healthy. So I think those things kind of go hand in hand. As if you're not getting the reps, it's tough to get into a rhythm and really stand out. So hopefully we can get him going this week.
Ryan, going back to the injury situation for just a second, is there anything that you can do, will do, moving forward to try to limit it? Is there any change that you think you need to make in your off-season preparations to try to cut down the injury rate for yourself?
No, I don't think it's preparation things, right? You look at how it started. It was a hit to the knee, and then in 2016 it was because the knee had been hit. It was partially torn and then tore all the way. Also something couldn't really rehab it or do anything about it. I rehabbed it as strong as it could be, and then it happened. And this year with the shoulder, just got grabbed. It's something you can't plan for, you can't account for. You just try to be as strong in those positions you can be in. I think, moving forward, it's about controlling the game and not letting yourself get hit. Being able to get the ball out, move effectively in the pocket, and throw the ball away and get it out as quickly as you can. If you're not going to be able to get the ball off. I think it's a balancing act though, right? Because you can't just throw the ball away anytime someone gets around you. You have to be able to stand in there and take some hits and make the throw when we need it downfield. So just knowing when that time is, when's the time to, you guys, all right, you're going to be able to get this throw off or you're not, and being able to either protect yourself and get down in the pocket or get the ball out and throw it away.
Did you not worry at all about the future and whether it's here or not, just because it's your personality, or because do you know in your mind, I'm an NFL starting quarterback, I'll be starting somewhere next year, hopefully here, but I'll be starting somewhere. I mean, does that go into your thinking at all?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. I have a lot of belief in myself. I know what I can bring to the table, wherever it is. But yeah, I want to be here. I want to finish my career as a Dolphin and win a championship here. You know, that's what they brought me here for, and that's what I want to do.
All right.
Wherever his health is at the time. I mean, if he's healthy and wants to play in it, like, I don't see why we would hold him back.
So he's still coming back a little bit from the knee then.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want him going up. If he has any pain, turf, you know, I mean, we need to be smart with that.
With the situation in regards to Kiko Alonso, what went into your decision to play him and to not play him, and how did you think that the defense did without?
So here's what happened with that. We worked him out before the game. He wanted to go. A lot of us weren't really sure because he didn't look great. Like, it wasn't like he was this close. Like, there was still a little hobble and he looked a little stiff, and we didn't really have anybody else to put up. You know, we had a couple linemen that were healthy and Isaiah, and we just felt like if there was an emergency and we needed him to finish a game, then he was there. But we didn't think it was the right thing to do to put him in the game.
And I want to ask you about the growth that you've seen from Raekwon and Jerome. They've both had moments in games where they've looked pretty decent, but then they've also had issues where they've struggled, misfits, not exactly sticking to their assignment. What is the hope there that the seasons you've invested in them is going to do what?
Well, I think they've improved as years gone on. I can see Raekwon, his leadership has really showed up for us. The way he practices, the way he's played in games when things have gotten tough, he's been the guy that steps forward. Bake, I just think, is one of those guys, man. He just plays ball. You know, and there might be some times where maybe there's some undisciplined thing that he does, but he ends up making the play. You know, that's the fine line in defense sometimes, where you can go off the reservation slightly, but when you're fast and you're able to tackle, you can make up for that and you correct it. Then, you know, when you get to the sideline. But I do feel like those guys are trending in the right direction. I mean, those guys play as hard as you can ask guys to play.
You're at the end of year 3 here in your relationship with Ryan, and many ups and downs, the injuries and so on. How would you describe your relationship with him at this point?
I mean, I think it's a good relationship between player coach. You know, I want him to have success. You know, I want him to do, you know, the things that he wants to accomplish individually, but as a team as well. You know, at that position, you take a lot of the bullets, you know, and sometimes you don't get all, you know, you don't get all the credit when you might deserve it. You know, I think we've been so all over the place. Like, one game we'll do well on offense and then we'll just be non-existent one game. And, you know, that's where it could help at the quarterback position. Sometimes you make an off-schedule play, you do something where it just kind of sparks the rest of the group. And sometimes we have that, sometimes we don't. And, you know, I think this whole last couple of years, it's like we're healthy, then we miss the season, then we get him back, we play well in a couple games, and we had a couple rough games, then he gets hurt, and then he's out 5 weeks, and then comes back, plays pretty good, and then we've had a couple rough games of late.
Is it the rough patch? Is it in some ways make the relationship stronger? Is that where the bonding really happens?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, you're under fire all the time. I mean, you're hard between the head coach and the quarterback. You're not missed. You know, everybody knows where you are, what you're doing, and how you're handling things.
I guess he was new. Teams that lost, courage word guy today. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching him come back from that knee injury, and I mean, he was excited to get out there and get going this season. I mean, put everything, whatever he had, he gave it. You know, and to see him come back and look good, moving around, running, all those things, there was just no limitations.
What's the next step for Ryan next season?
You know, the biggest thing is to stay healthy. You know, I mean, and it's hard for me to get too down with the injury he had against Cincinnati because, he was loading back to throw the ball down the field and the guy, he got him right in a bad spot. And that's what got him for that period of time. So, and then we always just have to keep working on pocket, anticipation, getting the ball out on time, making sure how do you avoid when things aren't going right, how do you avoid adding to that mistake? And I think we've had some games when we've done that, some games that we haven't.
And as far as health, 30 years old, 3 injury interrupted seasons. Are the odds what are the odds that he will have a healthy season?
Kirk, I'm not a great odds maker, but I just know when I got here, it was he never misses a game, he hasn't missed any snaps, and then it's flipped really fast.
I want to ask you about a lot of people are making an issue about you sitting on the sidelines while the defense is playing to draw up or script up or look at film. One, it's not something that people generally see from head coaches. What are you trying to get accomplished there? And
well, it just depends where we are in the game. I mean, just remember, it's not hard to see. I'm on the headsets with the defense. I can hear everything. I can see what's going on. There's pretty big screens on the field. It's not like I can't see anything. I hear everything going on. A lot of the times I'm trying to get the next series ready so I can tell those guys, here's what's coming. Here's what I'm thinking going into the next series. And then just trying to make sure I'm aware of what they're doing on the other sideline of, hey, here's what they're doing down and distance-wise, here's what they're doing personnel-wise. Because you go through all those pictures and you get a feel of, how they're calling the game. And that's important to play calling.
Adam, can you talk about the positives and negatives of spying?
I'm not the only one that does that now. I mean, the guy in LA does it a lot, and they're all right.
Can you talk about the positives and negatives of spying on a quarterback and the challenges of keeping Josh Allen in the pocket? Because he got out of the pocket, obviously, a lot in the last game.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's good when you have somebody that can actually catch him when he escapes the pocket. And the only thing that it can hurt you in is you have one less rusher. So you're really taking a guy out or one less guy in coverage. If you're using a linebacker and he's sitting in the middle, he's just watching him, and all of a sudden guys start running across the field and he's not paying attention to that stuff. And so you lose a guy in coverage where you can take some things away. And if you get in that whole quarterback spy game, you don't have that.
But didn't you guys have a spy last game? And
yeah, I mean, every call is different. It's not like you go, hey, this call or every call is going to be with a spy. You're not going to do that. If you're pressuring, you're going to have guys in certain zones. But, a lot of times when teams are in man-to-man coverage, that's when you see it because that's when they can do the most damage.
Do they have any design runs for him, or is it mostly?
I mean, most of them were drop back, everybody's running out of there, and then we let him get out of the pocket.
Getting back to what you were saying to Omar about obviously Pay does it, and it seems like defensive is not the right word, but you want to make clear that there's not too much on your plate, call plays, and still run a game as well. No. Is there anything that you can do?
We haven't had a lot of mismanagement of games. I mean, we got a lot of people that are involved in game day management. I mean, I just have to make the decision. We're talking through stuff all the time.
Is there anything you've learned then about how to manage your time on a Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it slows down the more you do it. Year one now is, I can't even imagine if I went back and was able to watch myself in year one compared to now. I mean, it was probably a nightmare in year one.
The video's pretty good.
Adam, what did you think about your running game this year, and how were you able to use it the way you wanted to use it?
I think we've been it's like almost everything. It's been so inconsistent where one game it feels like we're really getting some good explosive plays. We're blocking guys well. Guys are executing things well. And then some games it was like last week, it just felt like we could never get to that second level. It always felt like it was at the line, and then we'd enter the line of scrimmage, and a lot of times we'd squirt out of there, but that wasn't happening. They did a really good job. It just felt like they just kept bottling everything up. Even when we tried to move outside sometimes, then we'd get pushback, Now the backs kind of get cut off. We try to cut up the field, and now it's -1 or 2 yards. It's just, it hasn't been as consistent as you want it to be.
Was it effective in getting you to play action?
It was. I mean, we had some good stuff in play action. The one time, unfortunately, that they covered everybody, Ryan didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. I hate to say this, but we probably should have just took a sack there, which I'm sure at that point, he'd been sacked quite a bit, and he's trying to make a play in that point in the game, which we just can't throw a pick six there.
But all season, has it been good
enough?
It's
been sometimes it's good. Some teams it's good against. Some teams it's not. Some teams do a good job of getting out of there on play action and getting in the windows.
You were happy with Frank Gore, and especially his first down. Seemed like, I think 62% of his carries were in first down.
Yeah, Frank helped us a lot. So, I mean, our third downs were shorter. I wish we could have took that and used that to our advantage. I think when Frank touched the ball on first or second down, we were like 3rd and 6. If he didn't, we were like 3rd and 9. Like, Frank just has an ability, and it's one of the reasons why he's one of the leading rushers ever, is there might be nothing there, and all of a sudden you're like 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, and then it's 3rd and 2. Frank just, he could get something out of nothing.
Talk about year 1 to year 3 for you. Does that learning curve change over time? Is year 3 to year 5 going to be the same kind of thing, or do you think?
Yeah, I mean, every game you go into, you learn a ton of stuff. There's something that it's the same thing I tell the players. I'm like, there's 10 things you come out of the game of, and you're like, okay, that happened. There's things that come up you may have never seen yourself. Maybe you've seen somebody else, it happen to somebody else, and kind of be like, well, what would I do in that situation? So, when you start seeing things live and it's happening fast, and you got 40 seconds or less to try to make a decision and make the right one, I mean, it moves pretty quick.
How important is this for you, the coaching staff, the players collectively, to just put away last Sunday and last Monday and look forward to the last game?
I mean, that's what we talk. It's the same mindset going in every week. Is you start fresh, and your goal is to win one game. I mean, our goal is to go on the road and win a game and try to finish the right way in the division overall record. Because 8-8 sounds a lot better than 7-9. I know that. Just like last year, 7-9 sounded a lot better than 6-10. So, I mean, we're focused on that, and I feel like the guys did a really good job at practice today, and it's good to see them flying around and enjoying being out there. And, I mean, they just know it's the last week that this team will be together. I mean, it'll never be the same.
I want to ask you about the running game. Obviously, it's going to be an adjustment without Frank, but why can't you, I guess, get those sustained early runs, or why couldn't you? Maybe it was Jacksonville's defense, get those sustained early runs in first and second down like last week.
I mean, what were they, 6th in defense? I mean, it was a tough defense to run against. We tried to stay, or at least I tried, play calling wise, to stick with the run game, because I didn't want to get in one of those deals where now Jalen Ramsey starts getting a little nosy, and we get some kind of issue where he jumps one and gambles because he can. And we were trying to stay consistent with that, getting 3rd and shorter situations. The penalties killed us, because we were 2nd and 20, 2nd and 15. When that happens, it's hard to recover from that stuff. I mean, think about, especially over the last 3 years, how many times did we recover from a negative play on 1st or 2nd down to convert on 3rd down? It's rare. You really have to do a lot of things right the next 2 downs.
I guess final question for me. Devontae Parker, he's kind of been present but not really productive. Is that injury? Is that practice performance? Is that a chemistry issue?
I feel like he's practiced probably as good as I've seen him practice over the last 3 years, like his speed, detail of what he's doing. And for some reason, when we're getting to the game, I don't know if he's trying to be too perfect and it's slowing him down. I feel like we have routes sometimes where he knows cold, and then I'll see what I see at practice. And, it's just one of those things, just cut it loose. Don't worry about making a mistake if you do. Like, it's the quarterback's job to find you and put the ball on you and then go make a play after the catch.
All right, thanks, guys.
Alright guys, you've reached the end of my video. This is the end of the interviews. I hope you enjoyed those. I hope you enjoyed my show. Also, as a whole, if you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Make sure you hit the like button. And please share your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. It's for you. This is for you. And also follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. It's on the end screen. My Twitter handle is on the end screen if you need to know it. And with that, guys, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.